What was the most memorable debate for you? One that you think maybe it's the hardest, maybe it was something happened?
The most difficult and academic was the one in America. I would say that Shishi Ravi Shankar was one of the important one, but the most important one was with Dr. William Campbell. Dr. William Campbell, he wrote a book in the 90s, I think. He wrote a reply to Dr. Maurice Bucaille books. If you have heard of Dr. Maurice Bucaille.
No.
He wrote a book on Qur'an and Bible in the light of science. It was a book trying to prove that the verses of the Qur'an are compatible with modern science. He was a French non-Muslim who accepted Islam. He was at the French Academy. And he wrote a book. And that was the most popular book on Qur'an and science. So William Campbell is a Christian missionary. He's a medical doctor, knows Arabic as a language. And he got a PhD in writing a book against Islam. So he published this book, Qur'an and Bible, of the similar topic. That was Qur'an and modern science.
Yeah.
Dr. Maurice Bucaille, he wrote a book, Qur'an and Bible in the light of science.
Okay.
And this book was used in the Western world against the Muslims. And he pointed about 30 scientific errors in the Qur'an.
Okay.
And no one could reply. So these Christian missionaries used to go to the Muslims in America, at the MSU, at the Muslim Students Foundation organization in Europe. See, this is a book, reply. No one is replying. And he gave open challenge. So in 1998, I think, or 6, the people from Canada, they wanted to invite me for a dialogue with him. So I read the book. I said, okay, I'm prepared. In 1998.
Did you prepare especially for this one?
Of course, a lot. But first when I saw it, I said, okay, I'm a doctor. On the face of it, it was very difficult. So in 1998, the last moment they cancelled because they thought they could not make a lot of profit. Unfortunately, most of the people in the Western world, they are doing dawah for profit. For dunya, not for akhirah. I'm sorry to say that. Maybe we'll come to it later on. So then in Chicago, the students in Chicago, because the book was famous everywhere, the students in Chicago called me. And I have a policy of not to charge, but that time I didn't insist. So they charged about $10 per ticket. And they had about 2,000 seats, and it was filled. And there was, in the Muslim Ummah, there was division. Half of them said, what he did is wrong. Why are you calling Dr. Zakir Naik? Why you want to be insulted in public? And half said, no, we should answer, and he'll do a good job. Or I would say that more were against the debate. The elders and all, they said, the book is so popular, and that time I wasn't that famous. Anyway, the debate took place. The tickets were oversold. They were worried that they would be sued because they sold extra tickets thinking people would not come, and they turned up. The majority, little bit, I think Muslims were more in number of people coming. But it was in Chicago, and it was very well done, and it was very successful. Allah's help was there.
Well, Dr. Naik has brought up some real problems. And there are these problems that he has said, and I don't deny them, and I don't have good answers for them. But I will tell about...
So much so that in Riyadh, when one of the medical doctors, just to give you a brief, he saw this debate and he wanted to meet me. I met him. He said, I'm a medical doctor. Normally, and I'm a fan of Deedat, but I've never watched a single debate of Deedat in one sitting. It takes me about 4 or 5 sittings, half an hour. The next day, half an hour. I cannot watch together. I've never done that. And Sheikh Deedat debate for 2 hours, some 3 hours, so I watch it in 4 or 5 seconds, half an hour, 45 minutes maximum. So it takes me 4 or 5 different days, maybe, to watch it. So once I went to my friend's house, and he was seeing the debate of William Campbell, and he heard William Campbell attacking the Qur'an. He spoke first, then I spoke. And he was shocked that what he's saying is a fact. He's saying, okay, this is the thing in embryology. And he said, we learned in embryology. So what he's saying is correct. That means Qur'an is wrong. So he heard it, knowing English well, being a Saudi. Then he saw me coming. So he saw it. So he could not stop the debate. He saw it. Then I came on the stage and he saw me the first time. He said, Khalas, this person is bought. They bought a Muslim. They paid him money. Who is this young person? Now so I'm young, but that was the year 2000. So they saw me with a black beard and a young person, skinny person coming. So he was convinced that these people have paid to this Muslim to get humiliated. So he was very angry. But he said, I want to see what they reply.
Yeah.
And he said, the class, we're going to lose because he's a doctor. And this person is young, he's experienced, what will he reply? In Hindi, non-Arab. So when he heard the reply, he was so shocked, and he saw the full debate with the question and answer session. He wanted to meet me. And when I came to Riyadh, and that time I used to go to Riyadh often.
Yes. Yes.
And so the thing is that what he mentioned was, unless you don't have debating skill, you'll not be able to reply.